Hey y'all, I made these really cool little pouches, and the cool thing about them is they snap back. They're snap back pouches. Let me show you how I made them. Hey y'all, I hope this video finds you well. So today I'm going to show you how to make these really cute little snapback or squeeze enclosure crochet pouches. Neat little project, works up really quickly, perfect for craft fairs or just for small little gifts or whatever you need. I like to use mine to put my sunglasses in, but you can also use them to put your change in or anything really that your heart desires, because they're completely customizable in terms of the length and even the width once you decide on which closure you want to get. You'll also need to make sure that you have the yarn that you want to use. I use an acrylic yarn and the corresponding crochet hook. I use a 5.5 millimeter. Okay, so along with your favorite yarn, you're also going to need to get these little clasps. I got these from Amazon. They came in a little kit and they had 4 sizes ranging from 3 inches all the way up to 6 inches. So then you can customize the project that you want. You're also going to need some pliers that came in handy, yarn needle, some stitch markers, and then of course you'll need some scissors to finish everything off. But other than that, we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to make like a generic one using a 3-inch clasp. So go ahead and start by making yourself a slip knot and placing that on your crochet hook. This is going to be pretty simple. All I'm going to be doing is creating a single crochet and a half double crochet. That is the stitches that I'm using to create this project. But because this is such a neat little project, you can customize it using pretty much any stitch that you like. So check out my channel for additional stitches that would work perfectly for a pouch like this. Alright, so I'm going to make myself a chain, and the key thing here is you want to make the chain to the width of the closure. So in my case, because I'm doing a 3-inch closure, I'm going to make my chain, my foundation chain, I'm going to only do about 12 stitches. Now this tutorial is basically just to kind of show you how to do it, but again, if you're going to create this, you're going to make it towards what you need. Once I have my chain completed, I'm going to do single crochet stitches. Okay, so again, to do your single crochet, you're going to insert your crochet hook through the loop, the chain. You're going to yarn over, pull that loop back through the chain. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the bottom 2. Okay, and you'll continue doing single crochet stitches all the way down. You'll have a total of 11 once you finish this. Okay. Alright, and the way I'm going to do this video, guys, it's only about 12 minutes, not too long, but I'm going to show you how I change yarn and things like that, give you the basic pattern for this particular pouch. I'll show you how to actually use the clasp, but that's it. You'll if you want to know how to actually do the pattern for like the glasses case, please head over to my website. I'll put that there. Okay, there you have it. So just keep working until you get to the very end of the row, and I'll just meet you back. Alright, in the very last stitch of the row, you're going to do a single crochet stitch. You're going to chain 1. See how it looks there? So chain 1, turn your work, and then continue doing single crochet stitches. Now, in my case, I did a total of, what did I do? For the small pouch, I did a total of 7 rows of single crochet stitches, and I'm going to tell you why I went with a single crochet stitch in a second, but I did 7 rows of single crochet stitches in order to start this pouch. So you want to do the same if you're kind of following along with the tutorial, or even if you're creating your own. So once you get this swatch, it looks something like this. The main thing is you want to be able to wrap it around the closure. See how I'm doing that there? Where it's at the end of all of this, we're going to sew all this together, but that was the point. And the reason why I wanted to use a single crochet stitch is because it's a smaller stitch and it's not going to be too bulky when I go to close and do my class. So at this point, now that I have my top portion, or the area that's going to be around my closure prepared, I'm going to now change my pattern up, and I'm going to just do half double crochet stitches. That way this works up even more quicker. So I'm going to do a half double crochet stitch in every stitch across. See there? So So basically what I did 7 rows of single crochet stitches, and now I'm going to do half double crochet stitches. Okay. And really quickly, just so you're familiar, know what we're going to do, I'm going to do a total of 12 rows of half double crochet stitches, and then I'm going to change my yarn color. You don't have to change your yarn color, guys. You don't even have to change the pattern. You can keep a single crochet stitch if you want, but this is how I wanted mine to look. So I did a total of 12 rows of half double crochet stitches, and at this point I'm going to change my yarn color and continue doing half double crochet stitches. Okay. So with this new gray yarn here, once I've attached it, I'm going to just chain 1, turn my work, and then I'm going to start by doing a half double crochet stitch in that very first space. So you'll have a total of 11 half double crochet stitches in the row. Okay. All right, just keep working. All right, in that very last stitch there, you want to make sure that you get your half double crochet stitch. All right, I chain 1 and then I turn my work and I continue to do this. I'm going to do this color yarn for 4 rows. And you'll see kind of at the end of my project, the reason why I did 4 is because this is the bottom of my pouch. So what basically we're doing is we're making a really long swatch that's going to be about 11 inches long, and then we're going to fold it in half. So that's why I did a small color change, because I wanted the bottom of the pouch to look different. But again, you don't have to do that. I'm changing the color back. I've done my 4 rows, so now I'm changing the color back to my original color that I used. Okay. And then once I've done that, I'm basically going to do 12 more rows of half double crochet stitches. Okay, after I've completed my 12 rows, I'm going to do a pattern change one more time, and that's because we're going to do exactly what we did in the beginning here at the end, and that is just 7 rows of single crochet stitches. So at this point, we're just going to do single crochet stitches across, keeping the same count that we've had throughout the entire project. And you're going to do 7 rows of this. So just once you get to the end, chain 1, turn your work, and keep working. So again, the video is not so much about the pattern, more so about this part that we're getting to now, is how to actually create put the enclosure onto the pouch. All right, so at this point now, we're going to go ahead and do the construction of the bag. We've completely done our swatch. It's about, again, 11 inches long. We're going to, this is how I determine how much yarn I need to sew. So basically, I'm going to be sewing across. I need to make sure I have enough yarn to do that. So I went ahead and measured a quick little measurement, and now I am just finishing off my work. All right. Now, remember at the beginning, I showed you this earlier, we wanted to make sure we had enough room to make sure that our enclosure was actually enclosed. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just ensuring that those 7 rows of single crochet stitches that we created is enough to cover the class. I know it is because we already did it in the beginning. I'm using my stitch marker to just ensure that the bend is where I want it to stay before I sew it. So that it is stitch marker, paper clip, something like that. A binder clip is helpful in this moment to just make sure that everything stays exactly where you want it to before you sew everything down. Okay, so as you can see here, this class will open up. There is a pin that we're going to add to it, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But you just want to make sure that it fits in great and everything feels good. It's not too bunchy, too much fabric, so that it will actually work. Okay, so really quickly, let me show you how this closure actually works. As you can see here, there is a hinge on one side that's actually already put together, and the other side is not. What we're doing now is we're going to line up the hinge so it's like in a straight row. Once it's lined up, you're going to take the pins. Now the pins and the hinges come together in the set, so you don't have to worry about finding these. You don't want to lose them, of course, but they send you plenty to go with the hinges with the closure. So what you'll do is you'll take the pin and you'll slide it into the hinge to that area right there at the end. And be careful because it does pop right back out because it's not closed, and that's where the pliers come in handy. Once you have the pin in, then you're going to squeeze the metal. There's like a little metal lip that you have to squeeze closed, and I don't know, maybe you can do it with your hand. I couldn't. I just used some pliers to do that, but again, that's how this works. It's not complicated at all. I thought it would be more complicated than it was, but you basically line up the closure where you need it, and then you insert the pin and then keep going. Okay, now I'm not going to sew everything on camera, but you can see here I'm lining everything up. You want to make sure that your folded ends are facing out, the folded area is facing out, and your pouch, your snap will bend, so it will feed into one side and then the other one will feed into the other side. So you have side A and side B. Your pouch swings open, it has a hinge on it. You're going to make sure that it inserts into both sides of the pouch. So we're doing all this pre-sewing. I wanted to show you how it's going to look. Okay, at this point it may feel a little bit cumbersome, a little bit thick. It's okay, you haven't sewed anything together. My quick tip is I sewed one side down first, then I sewed across the top on both sides, and then I sewed the bag closed. So instead of me sewing the bag closed first and then doing the top, I did one side across the top and then the other side. I found that to be a lot easier, and then I use these little binder clips to kind of keep everything in place while I was sewing. So just kind of get in there, fiddle with it, make sure that you get what you need done. It's not complicated or difficult at all. It's just working with the fabric and getting used to, you know, holding everything together while you're sewing. I didn't find this part difficult, and I just did a little stitch here at the end. I think this is called a whip stitch. It wasn't complicated at all. I just make sure that I pick up from both edges. So I'm sewing along the raw edge, but I want to pick up a stitch from both sides to make sure that it stays closed. And if you want to, it's up to you. You can sew down and then back up to just ensure that it's really, really secure. I'm not going to be using these for much other than my sunglasses, so one little sew down the side worked for me. But it's really up to you as far as your preference. Again, I did the single crochets at the top and the bottom because I wanted to make sure I didn't have too much of a thick fabric in the area where I need to close, because as you see here, you do have to squeeze it. Again, it might be useful if you have a binder clip to hold everything together. I didn't really need it, but it could be helpful. You're going to slide the pin in like I showed you earlier in the video, and then once you have the pin in place, you're going to use your pliers and just fold over that little lip. There's a little metal lip at the end on both ends, and you'll just close it up there. And that's it, guys. It really was a quick, easy project. It took me a little bit longer because I was trying to figure out the width and all that stuff, but honestly, this was not a hard project at all. And again, I love the fact that you can customize it and use whatever stitch you want. I've been putting out a lot of different stitches on my channel, so check those out to get some inspiration. But other than that, guys, this has really been a fun project. I love the fact that they come with so many different clasps in the actual container that I purchased, so you can use them again for your glasses, your sunglasses, for coins, for makeup, for your crochet hooks, depending on the stitch that you use. But that's it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.